Welcome to Proven and Probable, where we deliver mining insights and bullion sales in the form of physical delivery, offshore depositories, and private blockchain distributed ledger technology.
Welcome to Proven and Probable. I'm your host, Maurice Jackson. Joining us for a conversation is Judson Coulter, the CEO of Rover Metals. Mr. Coulter, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Maurice.
Glad to have you back on the program, sir, to have you share the value proposition before us in Rover Metals, which is focused on emergent gold and silver opportunities in the historic gold-rich Central Nevada in the United States and the Yellowknife District of the Northwest Territories of Canada. Mr. Coulter, for someone new to the story, please introduce us to Rover Metals and the opportunity the company presents to the market.
Thanks, Maurice. Yeah, we've got drill-ready gold and silver resources that we're essentially looking to just move up, to an inferred, or in the case of Nevada, measured and indicated resource in 2020. And we've got some very high-grade silver in Nevada, and we've with a gold equivalent of an economic grade up to 1 million ounces, and we've got also some very high-grade gold up in the northern Canada to the tune of about 14 grams per ton. When I say drill ready, what I mean is geophysics have been done, drill permits have been obtained.
Mr. Coulter, just to clarify, Rover Metals is early stage, is that correct?
I would say prior to this acquisition in Nevada, we were early stage. What we've acquired, or are the process of finalizing the acquisition in Nevada, is a very large historical resource that's had 17,000 meters of drilling. And there's a portion of that, the high-grade portion of 9 million ounces at 250 grams per ton silver. That's an inferred resource. So I think, mid-stage in terms of a junior, certainly in terms of a mining company, it's fair to say we're an early stage that is looking to get to that preliminary economic feasibility calculation within the next year to 2 years.
Are the company's projects brownfields exploration?
Just dovetailing on my last answer, I would say the Nevada asset, the silver portion of that is brownfields. We've got a step out from the historic silver reef zone and at our Toquima project that is 3.5 kilometers of golden core, which is a greenfields target. We wanted to do geophysics on it. It's really just shows an extension of the historical resource, but it is a good anchor silver brownfields project for us in Nevada. What we have up in northern Canada is, I would say, an earlier stage greenfields high-grade gold resource to the tune of about 85,000 ounces. There's only been 7,500 meters of drilling, but I think we could, in a good gold market and the bull market we're heading into, quickly move that asset into the brownfields category as well.
Let's discuss a topic germane to the value proposition of Rover Metals that I believe a number of speculators may be overlooking. You and I had a conversation regarding your thoughts on M&A market for the precious metals juniors that I thought was quite interesting. Mr. Coulter, when is the M&A market for precious metals coming?
Well, there's a good chance for 2020, Maurice. I think, we follow very closely the published reserves of the producers, and there's multiple credible online publications. The listener can just simply type that into Google and look at some of the graphs where you could see a 10-year stacked bar graph of we're in the lowest drawdown on precious metal resources in a decade, and with these kind of gold prices that we're at, and treasuries getting topped up, it's just business economics that you would be wanting to acquire projects when you've got the treasure to do it.
Yeah, it certainly is. And you look at the just the fundamentals and the bureaucratic aspect of the mid-tiers and the senior gold companies. They took the exploration side of their portfolio out, and that left an opportunity for junior mining companies, but not just any junior mining company. It takes a company such as Rover Metals, I believe, that has the business acumen and geological acumen to make something come to fruition. And in this case, it looks like we have two opportunities, one in Canada and one in Nevada, which segues into my next question here. And that was back in April, Rover Metals announced an LOI to purchase a strategic land package in central Nevada. Tell us about the project and the value proposition before us.
Yeah, well, I think the project is a great location. Let's start with the value proposition first. Is, again, on the M&A topic, I think, Nevada will continue to stay one of the hottest jurisdictions for M&A, like it was in 2019, at the ultimate ivory tower level with the majors, Barrick and Newmont and the JV that was formed. But, it's just a state where it's just so business friendly. And there's just such an endowment of resources there, and just the sheer cost of exploration is perfect for the market we're in. So I think if we do see the M&A cycle, I think Nevada is the logical place for it to be. So that's the value proposition for us, is the fact that we're in Nevada. I mean, you've got just the boots on the ground, the resources, the support for the industry logistic wise, out of Reno, the people that are on the ground, places like Round Mountain, for Kinross. So the access to really the workforce that you need, and just really the historic resource, who's worked this project. Echo Bay did a significant amount of exploration there in the 1980s. We've built the database. It's a good combination of RC drilling and diamond core drilling at this Toquima project. The opportunity is, there's up to 48 million ounces of economic grade silver. Right now we're focused on moving the historic, 9 million ounces of high grade. But we've also think, there's up to 48 million ounces measured and indicated to be proven up. And then we've got this area, the Toquima Caldera. All these margins typically have, gold, within a 10 to 1 to silver of the alloy, and just the pure geology of the region. In Kinross's Round Mountains case, it's actually like, 2 to 1 gold to silver. And so I think for us, we think this is actually, as much silver is there, and it's been proven to be there, we believe this is actually a gold exploration target, just because of the comparables in the region. Look at Gold Hill, look at the Manhattan Project, look at Baxter Springs. Those are all gold projects, and we're talking about a 15 square mile radius here. It's just very unusual that there wouldn't be gold in more gold in the Toquima project.
Mr. Coulter, please provide us with an update on the LOI.
Thanks for asking that, Maurice. So we are basically approved for this acquisition. What we've done over the summer months is we raised $300,000. What that $300,000 use of proceeds was used for was to buy out the underlying option agreement for the Toquima asset. And so that means that there was 6 months left of a 3-year option agreement. That option agreement is now fully satisfied. We've also renewed the claims in Nevada. So those claims are in good standing for a year. And on closing, the title is just ready to move over to Rover. So the last piece of the acquisition is we're looking to finance working capital of $500,000. This is future working capital. And, that's currently where the acquisition stands. As soon as we've closed on that $500,000 Canadian minimum, we would like to do a bit more. But right now, that's the last piece of the acquisition, and that's what we've been working on, since really Labor Day in September, since the first closing of the financing, is the $500,000 we need to get to work. And I think the good news is that we're ready to get in there early in the new year and start delivering exploration results to what looks to be a bull market for precious metals.
But there's more to the value proposition before us in Rover Metals. Judson, it just occurred to me that we haven't spent too much time on your properties in the Northwest Territories. Let's introduce audience members to them. And first of all, let's begin with the Cabin Lake Gold property, and then let's transition to the Uptown Gold Project.
Yeah, so what we've got up in Cabin Lake is a project that has really got the support of the community in the north, stakeholders in Yellowknife, and outside of Yellowknife, we've got the support of the local First Nations. We've got proven companies that have been at it about 3 years longer than we have, that have gone to work 120 kilometers north of us, and they've recently delivered a 3 million inferred gold resource to the market. The infrastructure that they've brought into our camp in our region just bodes well for us. We've got a 5-year exploration permit. This is high-grade gold. This is 14 grams per ton. We've only scratched the surface. There's only been 7,500 meters of drilling. We think the gold markets that we're heading into, that this is another very good supplementary asset to help us generate what we hope to be quarterly exploration news in 2020, 2021 moving forward. It's a really interesting type of geology. It's an iron formation. I guess a very good comparable might be the Lupin mine that operated from 1983 up to 2003. It's an exciting opportunity. We've got the Uptown Gold Project as well, right in the city of Yellowknife. It's actually, you fly into the airport, it's almost the other side of the highway from the airport. That's a little bit trickier geology. It's a granite formation, but with the right gold market, the ability to have a project, right in the city limits in terms of what's required to be economic, that's always been the opportunity with that project as well.
Sticking with M&A, what does Rover Metals have to offer to prospective precious metals producers in terms of M&A?
Yeah, I think what we have is a very economic deposit. I think we are very close within a year to doing the hard work in terms of moving it up to a measured and indicated resource, and it's just in such a mining friendly jurisdiction that I think a smaller mid-tier producer would, it's open pittable, it's at surface, it's oxide. So, I think, for the right producer, there'd be a great strategic fit. And I think that would be the first strategic investment would be to come for the Nevada project.
When is the next big opportunity for investors to get a piece of Rover Metals?
There's an opportunity right now. I mean, one of the things that you don't get in the open market is a stock purchase warrant. And, that's incredibly valuable, especially when you look at, current precious metal company prices. So we've actually been approved to issue a stock warrant at double the face value of our share price. And, I think it's no secret that there's some real good buys in the precious metal sector right now. Why not get a 5-year warrant in addition to a full common share? And that's the value of the private placement that we're offering right now. And I think, anybody can do a little bit of research or listen to some of your, your interviews on investing in the precious metal resource sector. Holding, both the warrant and the common share really allows you to do a little bit of future planning and hedge your success in a sector that, we are taking some swings, but typically it's the warrant that brings value to a lot of investors in the sector.
Judson, one more time. How many years on that warrant again, sir?
5 years.
That's not common.
That's.
Oh, go ahead, sir.
It's almost like a half a mining cycle, if you will, right? Or a full mining cycle, right? So if we truly are going in to a bull market, you've got a share essentially that comes into the money at 12 cents, and you're shielded for 5 years on that.
But that's just icing on the cake. Multi-layered question: what is the next answer?
Let's just get back to that as well. these will be on this private placement really the only outstanding warrants in our company, because as of June, all of our existing warrants expire. So, again, getting back to the value of the warrants that we're offering in this financing, given that, as we move forward, I expect a good portion, and that just gets back to a tighter capital structure with, on the money that we've raised to date. Some of the warrants will be expiring December 31st, but the remainder that are outstanding expire in June. So these ones at 5 years has got some real value, because as they come into the market, there is a market for these shares on exercise, just because of the fact they're not competing with warrants from previous finances.
Multi-layered question. What is the next unanswered question for Rover Metals? When can we expect a response, and what determines success?
Well, I think for us, the most exciting opportunity is the geophysics that we want to run on our Toquima project in central Nevada. And we've got this historical resource, the high-grade silver. We've got what they've done on the project in the last 5 years is done 3.5 kilometers of golden core step out. It's never had geophysics, it's never had magnetics. It's never had a drone-based airborne over top of it. This would be, you talk about up to 48 million ounces of silver. We've got gold-only targets here. I mean, this could just be such an amazing opportunity. And I think just emphasizing the geophysics, that's something we can do in 6 to 8 weeks.
Switching gears, Mr. Coulter, please share the current capital structure for Rover Metals.
Yeah, we've got 42 million shares outstanding as of the date hereof. Upon closing of our acquisition of the Toquima Project, we'll be issuing another 40 million shares. That'll take us to 92 million shares outstanding. But just to mention, those 40 million acquisition shares, that's not a control block. That's going to over 100 different shareholders, including Eric Sprott, who will become a large shareholder of Rover. But again, not a control position. There'll be up to a 2-year hold period on those 40 million acquisition shares as well. So they won't be trading in the market right away. And so we've got some good support. On a post-acquisition basis, once this the concurrent financing is completed, that should put us around 107 million shares outstanding. But just to sort of talking point to that structure is that we own a majority of our assets outright. So our 2 flagship projects we own outright, and we're not optioning those 2 projects. So that's a lot of resources and real estate owned by the company, and that's reflected in the capital structure.
Mr. Coulter, you said it quite modestly. You said that Eric Sprott, is that billionaire Eric Sprott, has a position in Rover Metals? Is that correct?
He will. He is the the largest single backer of the private asset in Nevada, and so upon acquisition, he'll become a shareholder of Rover Metals.
The stock is currently halted on the Canadian Toronto Venture Exchange while still trading on the OTCQB. Can you provide us with some context on why and when the company expects to resume trading?
Yeah, I think we're targeting to close just before the new year on the acquisition, and that may stretch into January. That is our likely date to resume trading, just based on right now. With the financings that are, the money that's being put together, where it's coming from, just some of the due diligence steps that, as you can appreciate, that smart money in this sector, what's typically done to close. So it's just taking some time to get that financing done. In terms of the OTCQB listing, we're actually still trading on the OTCQB. And I know that there'll be some American investors that will be depositing about 400,000 shares that just recently had legends removed, and that'll be free trading about 400,000 new shares going into the DTC OTC listing, and so we may see a nice little run here before the end of the year, just based on the OTC trading. So because I do believe that we've seen some volume there already in the last few months. At one trade at 40 cents, one at 20 cents, and then another trade at 17 cents. So it'll be fun to see on speculation of closing of this acquisition how the OTC market trades here in the next couple months.
Now, you said that lightly, but let's put that to some context here. You said 40 cents, 17 cents, and I believe it was 20 or 25 cents. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. And I think that's all on just speculation around what we're doing in Nevada. It's also important to note who we've just added to our advisory role. That was our last press release. We just added Robert Schaefer, Bob, as he likes to be called, to our advisory board. Bob was an early guy with Kinross, very senior executive, well known in U.S. mining circles, very well respected, well known in Canadian markets. I mean, he was the president of the PDAC, I believe, 3 years ago. So, Bob is joining us to provide technical expertise in Nevada. He has regional data to help us with our exploration program. He knows what works on geophysics. And I also wouldn't be surprised if there is some future M&A, close to the Toquima Project brought forth by Bob, just based on the relationships he carries in Nevada, kind of being his backyard. So I don't know, maybe the OTC was trading on that news as well. It's hard to say.
Yeah, but Judson, if we let audience members let that soak in for a second, those are U.S. numbers when you're referencing the OTC. What was the price of Rover Metals on the TSX.V when it was halted?
6.5 cents. So yeah, it's a nice boost. And I mean, given that we're financing at 6 cents, it's a pretty nice return for investors coming in and kind of showing them what's in store for us as we look ahead. And 2020 really, I mean, there's supposed to be. Again, I leave it to the listener to do their research on gold prices, but the ETFs are when they come into this sector, they come in a big way, and I think what we're seeing on the OTC is somewhat indicative of when we get called back to trade, where our share price is headed.
What are some of the biggest concerns and positive feedback you've been receiving from shareholders?
Well, I think it's been very supportive. People just want to know, because during the halt period, we haven't been issuing as many press releases. So people just email me or call me personally, and at the end of this call, at the end of this interview, you're giving out the phone number and the email, and people can just pick up the call, during the halt period, and they've got questions and concerns. But I mean, there's really nothing to be concerned about. I think from our side, during the halt, it was adding, somebody of Bob Schaefer's caliber to the technical team, trying to pull in regional data in addition to Toquima so that we really can plan the exploration appropriately, and then get the financing done and come back to trade with the intent that, within a couple of weeks thereafter, we're getting to work, right? So, you need the people and the expertise and the knowledge in addition to great projects. That kind of stuff doesn't happen overnight.
Sir, what keeps you up at night that we don't know about?
Dreading my next interview with Proven and Probable. I get my feet held to the fire.
Well, we certainly like to do that.
That was tongue-in-cheek. Love being on the show.
And also, by the way, for audience members, we want to share that we are enthusiastic and of having Rover Metals as our newest sponsor. So thank you for coming onto the program, sir, for that as well. Last question. What did I forget to ask?
As usual, Maurice, I think you covered it all. So I think there's right now, that's, I think, just to be in a position where we're putting projects, moving them up from a great historic resource, an abundance of data, to either an inferred or measured and indicated category in what hopefully will soon be an M&A market. That's just really a good summation of the stage we're at for an investment as well as a company. Really, I think the kind of travel that I think we're looking forward to in 2020 in terms of what conferences. I think we have a very good U.S. presence in 2020 with a real focus on the U.S. retail audience, with giving them the constant updates on what we're doing in Nevada. Not to discount the Canadian market. It's just the 6-month focus is really what's going on in Nevada.
Mr. Coulter, for someone listening that wants to get more information on Rover Metals, please share the website address.
Yeah, it's www.rovermetals.com.
Rover Metals trades on the TSX.V, symbol ROVR, and on the OTCQB, symbol ROVMF. For direct inquiries, please contact Judson Coulter at 604-449-5347. That number again is 604-449-5347. He may also be reached at Judson at RoverMetals.com. Before you make your next bullion purchase, make sure you call me. I'm a licensed representative for Miles Franklin Precious Metals Investments, where we provide a number of options to expand your precious metals portfolio, from physical delivery, offshore depositories, precious metal IRAs, and private blockchain distributed ledger technology. Call me directly at 855-505-1900. That number again is 855-505-1900, or you may email Maurice at milesfranklin.com. Finally, please subscribe to Proven and Probable.com, where we provide mining insights and bullion sales. Subscription is free. As a reminder, Rover Metals is a sponsor of Proven and Probable, and we are proud shareholders for the virtues conveyed in today's interview. Judson Coulter of Rover Metals, thank you for joining us today on Proven and Probable.
The information presented on Proven and Probable is provided for educational and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice, or any other advice. You should not make any financial, investment, or trading decision based on any of the information presented without first undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or competent financial advisor.